Hey guys, it's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe. So I wanted to do a video talking about my good buddy, Jordan. Jordan and I have been friends for about, I would say 21 years now. Time goes really quick. When I first moved to where I live now, different house, but same area, it was my first year of high school. So I was in 9th grade, I was 13 years old, and I was standing in front of the cafeteria and I was wearing an NBC shirt because my uncle worked for NBC in Manhattan, still does, and he would give us Christmas gifts, but then include like a hat or a shirt or something from NBC. I guess they had like an NBC store. So Jordan sees this, and this tall, thin guy comes up to me and goes, "Hey, you have an NBC shirt on. My dad works there." Well, unbeknownst to both of us, his dad and my uncle knew each other and were, friendly at work. So Jordan and I became fast friends. We hit it off. We had a lot in common. Big Keanu Reeves fans, big nerds into like computer stuff and science fiction. We're both really goofy. And the other thing I always loved about Jordan was, or do love about Jordan, he's still here. He's one of those friends that you can just pick up where you left off. There's no hard feelings that you haven't seen each other or that life got in the way or you got busy. If I don't see him for a year and then we go out and have dinner or something, that's it. It's just, we pick up where we left off. There's no problems. So those are always my favorite type of friendships, and I have a few friends like that. So I'm going to show some movies off that remind me of my buddy Jordan, and just talk a little bit about what they mean to me, or if I have any funny stories attached to them. So the first set of movies is the Bill and Ted Saga. So as I said, we were Keanu Reeves fans, still are, obviously. We still talk about Keanu Reeves and his movies, and did you see this new one, or did you see that new one? And if I have a DVD that like I don't think he's seen or whatever, I'll drop it off at his mailbox. He only lives a few blocks away. And we just thought that the Bill and Ted series was very funny. We have lots of pictures of us going like this, like Bill and Ted, and we used to always like be excellent to each other. Keep in mind we were 13 and 14 years old, or 15 years old at the time, maybe at most. But we always had that connection, so we used to joke around and say we were Bill and Ted. Hence the shirt. I wore this for the occasion. He even told me a story, Jordan, after I was out of that school, because I went to a different school at one point, that his teacher was talking about movies. I don't know if he remembers this. And she said, "What's your favorite film series?" And he said, "Oh, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey," which I find funny because some people are probably like, The Godfather and Goodfellas, and like all these, Citizen Kane. No, Bill and Ted. And she goes, "Oh, the Bill and Ted Saga." So, it's just a great, funny series. I think people will kind of typecast Keanu Reeves as being like stupid because of the movies, but these are just so much fun. They're filming a sequel, a third one right now, where they're gonna soon, I think. So I said to him the other day, "Jordan, we got to go to the movies when this comes out." So Bill and Ted are up there for me as some of my favorites and something that reminds me of my friend Jordan. So to stay in the vein of Keanu Reeves, another one for us. Now I'm not sure what year this was. Let's see here. This says 95. I want to say this came out first. So another movie we really loved, and I still love, and I think he does as well, Johnny Mnemonic. Now people beat the crap out of this movie. It's great science fiction. It comes from a short story by William Gibson under the same name, but it's it's cheesier. It's not done as well. There's a Japanese cut called JM, and it fleshes it out better, and it's got a little bit of a darker tone. So I would say that version's better, but that's never been on Blu-ray. Even I think there's another edition, I think the Japanese one, that's this cut with JM as a DVD. So there's not a Blu-ray of JM. But it's a great movie. This is such a guilty pleasure for me. I watch this movie maybe every few months. I'll pull it off the shelf and throw it in. We were all into like science fiction and The Matrix and computers. We had a little Juarez group online where we would make punters and progs on AOL and stuff, and this just like fit in that mold for us of Keanu Reeves and sci-fi and all these crazy helmets and the little Sony mini discs and stuff. So this is one of my favorite films. I know it gets a lot of flack, like I said. It also has a great soundtrack. The American soundtrack has one of my favorite bands, God Lives Underwater, on it, and just in general, it's a great industrial metal soundtrack. So check this out if you haven't. And speaking of The Matrix, this one, the Matrix trilogy along with the Animatrix, we were so into this. You know, it was kind of like a serious, darker version, sort of, not really, of Johnny Mnemonic, where, you know, there's all this crazy science fiction stuff, excellent special effects. Most people have seen the first Matrix, and then they kind of fall off and dislike the other ones. I like the other ones. They're probably not as good as the original, which is usually the case for sequels, but, you know, we would like stay up and watch stuff like this all the time, and just like I said, anything with Keanu Reeves and science fiction or cyberpunk in this instance, we were both really into. So I also do like the sequels a lot. I think Reloaded and Revolution are really good. The Animatrix is a great tie-in, and even the Xbox and GameCube games they made that were tie-ins were good. So I would recommend seeing these if you haven't seen them before. You can get like a packet like Target or Walmart for like 10 or 15 bucks for all the movies on like 2 discs or something now. This is just the ultimate collection with all these special features. Yeah, if you like Keanu Reeves and you like, you know, sci-fi, this is a definite watch. But those were right up our alley as teenagers. I even remember, actually, I think I've mentioned this before, the last Matrix film came out, and I had this friend Mike I was going to go with, and he like bailed out at the last moment. So I went by myself and saw Revolutions alone in a theater with like a pound of candy, eating like Sour Patch Kids and Swedish Fish. I was just like hyped up like Cornholio afterwards, like watching this religious, you know, cyberpunk anthology thing. So another movie that reminds me a lot of Jordan, and I don't know if he'll remember this, but I think he will, is Voodoo with Corey Feldman. So when DVDs first came out, they were pretty expensive. Jordan's birthday was coming up. I knew he had a DVD player, so I got him a dual pack of DVDs from Suncoast Video, which no longer exists, and it was Voodoo with Corey Feldman, because I was a big Corey Haim and Corey Feldman fan, and I think he liked them a little bit as well. Anyone growing up in the 80s kind of were the, you know, Corey fans. And the other movie was called, I think, Werewolf. I don't think I've seen that one, but this one he said was pretty cool. I think we watched it together, and then years later, a few years back, I think it might be on Amazon Prime, or if it isn't anymore, it was, but I picked up the DVD for a couple bucks on like Go Hastings or Amazon or something used, and it's a pretty good low-budget movie about voodoo, but completely reminds me of my buddy Jordan a lot, because I got him the movie as a birthday gift, and he was like, oh, thanks, because, you know, he didn't know what the hell they were, neither did I. They just looked interesting. But I would say one of Corey Feldman's better films, because I've seen movies he's done where they're not so good. Check out Voodoo. A little dark, a little interesting, about this guy going to college to visit his girlfriend, and there's all this like dark arts going on there. It's a good late night watch, so check this out if you haven't. And finally, and I've spoken about this one before, it's like 1999, maybe year 2000. We're into computers, you know, we're into Microsoft. We're really not Apple fans. I don't think we are. I think we still are not Apple fans. I'm pretty sure we both just work on PCs primarily still. And they announced this movie on, I want to say, TNT. And they show this awesome commercial. They play Everybody Wants to Rule the World by Tears for Fears. They show that like epic thing with the person throwing the hammer at the screen during like the whole 1984 thing with the Apple stuff on the screen. That whole ad that Apple did. And they do this commercial talking about how it's, you know, the story of Bill Gates and Steve Jobs, and how they were friends, and then they sort of became not enemies, but, you know, they stole technology from Xerox and like all this stuff. And we were like, holy crap, we have to see this. And they showed the commercial over and over all the time. So I think I was watching like WCW at the time, wrestling, and they would always show this commercial. So whatever station I think WCW was on, they would probably show it in between. And we would be on the phone or on the internet like, dude, did you see the commercial? We got to see this movie. So it finally came out. We stayed up that night late watching it. There was no DVRs then. I may have even still had a VCR. I don't think I recorded it. But so that movie is, and nobody really talks about this, Pirates of Silicon Valley. So it's a really good TV movie with Noah Wyle and Anthony Michael Hall. That's his name, right? From Noah Wiley's known for ER, and Anthony Michael Hall, yeah, was pretty much known for like Weird Science, Breakfast Club, you know, the nerdy guy. And I can't tell you the anticipation and hype we had before this came on TV. I knew I had to buy this on DVD when it came out. It was actually kind of hard to find. Then they re-released it at one point. It was like $8 or something, so I picked it up. I don't know if there's a Blu-ray, but I don't think so. I may have to look into that. It's just a really good TV movie about, you know, both of them kind of coming up and creating Microsoft, creating Apple. Kind of how like Steve Jobs was a scumbag and like Bill Gates was sort of like manipulative in ways. It's just an interesting story. You know, now they've done tons of movies on Steve Jobs and Microsoft and Apple and crap. But this was the first one I really remember. And being a kid with dial-up and, you know, playing Ultima Online and going online on AOL and stuff, this was like so up our alley with the cyberpunk stuff and the computer stuff. Definitely check this out, Pirates of Silicon Valley, if you haven't. And yeah, so then a couple of years ago, actually, I wrote to Jordan or called him or whatever. I said, dude, you got to come over for the weekend. Let's watch some movies and stuff. He said, all right, we'll get lunch, we'll hang out. And we watched this, and it was just, I don't know if we even paid attention the whole time. We were probably talking the whole time because we tend to do that. But we watched this and we talked and we had such a great time. And it was like a throwback to being like 15 or 14 years old again. What year did this come out in? It says 99, so I was 16, I think. 15 or 16. And yeah, so these are some movies that remind me of my buddy Jordan. If any of them ever sound interesting to you, please check them out. If you've seen any of them, let me know what you think. And what's up, Jordan? He says he watches my videos and he thinks it'd be, you know, I said to him, I'll shout you out, I'll do a video. And he's like, oh man, so this video is for you, buddy. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you listening to me ramble about films. It's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe. Be good.